In this video, I will explain about Google Protocol Buffer. It is a way of serializing structured data for use in communications protocols and storage data efficiently. Google Protocol Buffer is designed to be a language and platform neutral. For serialization and deserialization based on Google Protocol Buffer, there is a .NET library, Protobuf-net. The primary purpose of Protocol Buffer is to facilitate network communication due to its simplicity and speed. Easily write and read your structured data to and from a variety of data streams and using a variety of languages. There are some mandatory attributes which we need to implement. The first one is proto contract. We need to apply this attribute above a class to indicate that that class will serialize. There is an attribute proto member attribute. We need to implement this attribute above a property or field to indicate that that property or field will serialize, where n is a number which will indicate the order it will serialize. It always starts from 1. There is an attribute proto ignore. We need to apply this attribute above a property or field to indicate that that property or field won't be serialized during serialization. We need to install a package Protobuf-net in Visual Studio to use this Google Protocol Buffer. Now we will see by an example. First we need to install a package by NuGet Package Manager. We will search that package by this name as I mentioned in this document with version number. Now we need to install this package. So it's successfully installed. After successfully installation, in different section it will appear Protobuf-net. Then after we need to use here using Protobuf, and we will use memory stream, so we need to use using system.io. Now I have a class we need to serialize. There is class tutorial. We need to serialize and deserialize this one. This tutorial class have 3 properties: author, name and page count. So we mentioned here proto member 1, 2 and 3 because it always starts from 1 and it will increment for each properties or field. So we incremented here by 1, 2 and 3, and we will serialize or deserialize this tutorial class. So we need to mention here this attribute proto contract. Okay, now I have written some code for serialization and deserialization method. This is for serialization, which return type is byte array, and we need to pass an object which we need to serialize. So for serialization, it will call a method serializer.serialize, in which we will pass the object to serialize the object which we need to serialize, and it will convert it into a stream of bytes, and then it will return into array of that stream. And there is a deserialization method, GPP deserialization, which return type is object, which will deserialize back to the object from that byte array, a stream of byte array, to reconstruct the object. So for this we need to call the serializer.deserialize method, in which we will pass the type of that class and the stream which we need to deserialize. So now by code we will see. We need to serialize and deserialize this tutorial class. So we will create the object of this tutorial class. Then after have assigned some value to all these properties, and then after we'll call the serialization method, and it will return the byte array after serialization. And then for deserialization we will pass this byte array, and it will again reconstruct this obj reconstructed object of this tutorial class. Now we will see by debugging. Here we have an object of this tutorial class, in which there are some dummy value for author, name and page count. Now after serialization it will return a byte array which will serialize that object into this byte array, and then after we will construct back the object of this tutorial class after deserializing that byte array. So now it reconstructed the object of this tutorial class. We can see one more thing. There is an attribute proto-ignore, as I mentioned in the document. Suppose we don't want to serialize this properties page count. So I mentioned here proto-ignore attribute and commented the proto-member attribute. Now I will start debugging. Again I have created the object of this class and assigned these dummy values. I have this object having values, 3 values, and now it will go for serialization, and then after deserialization object is constructed, but the page count value is not serialized and deserialized, because we mentioned there we need to ignore this property for serialization and deserialization. So this is the explanation from my side for Google Protocol Buffer. If you want any more clarification, then please send me your query. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video.